Forensic pathology is a job of forensics. Its pathology is...
No, I can't do that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Forensic pathologists study human anatomy, but after the person has died. If someone finds somebody's body laying around somewhere, he or she calls the local authorities. The police then examine the crime scene excessively. They remove the body from the crime scene and then send it off to a morgue where a pathologist or forensic pathologist performs an autopsy and finds out how the person was killed.
This is Sergeant Clayford, and I have to warn you.
It's all right. Thank you.
3 ripping fissures originating from behind the left jawline, continuing on 30-degree tears of 6 inches to the mouth, 8 inches across the bridge of the nose, and thoroughly evacuating the left eye socket. Just below the left ear is a puncture wound.
He lived a full day after this.
It's amazing he lived so long. I mean, it must have been excruciating.
Oh, he was a Marine.
In the initial trauma, the carotid was nicked. The force of the blunt instrument cracked the skull in both temples. So he's bleeding out while his brain was hemorrhaging.
And what kind of instrument was used in the attack?
It must have been a hammer of some sort, non-metal, mallet maybe, wooden or plastic.
His face has just been torn apart here on the side.
Yeah.
There's no burn or powder marks. It's like his face burst from within.
Now, the skin can stretch 6 times its elasticity before it ruptures.
And this puncture wound suggests an injection site. Can you take tissue samples, see what and how it was injected?
Yes, ma'am.
The evidence you can find in this line of work is pretty simple. A corpse is considered evidence. A stab wound, blood, and a gunshot are all evidence. It's how the evidence lines up with the crime scene is the more difficult part for forensic pathologists, as it's their findings that lead to conversations like this.
If we're looking at the skin, we might well look at the means toward the end. The stitchery skill that would be necessary to perform such an operation. Is it at all possible that the unsub could be a highly proficient tailor?
I don't know.
He's certainly confident on some level of his fine motor abilities.
Taxidermist. Taxidermist might use an air compression gun in flaying animals. He'd be proficient in sewing skins and hides.
It's not bad. Penelope.
Yeah.
Can you run a check on the local taxidermist?
Taxidermists, huh?
I want you to give us the names and the radius of the crimes.
They tend to live in secluded areas, some of them hunt out of season, and supplement with illegal fur and animal skin trades.
Any with propensity for violence?
Let me see. What about this guy? Emery Boyd. He runs Todd's Taxidermy. It's just outside of Dale City.
Okay, let me see. So that has got to be... It's 5 miles from the park.
Man of the woods, prone to violence. He was suspected last year of attacking a game warden. Oh, get this. A few months ago, he went up into the Smoky Mountains armed with only a knife to kill a bear. He was seriously mauled, broke his arm, face is a wreck. He recently put a shop up for sale and no one's seen him for weeks.
It's worth an interview.
That's right.
In order to obtain the evidence from a corpse, forensic pathologists need to perform an autopsy. This involves forensic pathologists cutting open the corpse and discovering how the person died, even if it was quite obvious how it was done. The bodies that forensic pathologists perform an autopsy on can be fresh or really, really old. The level of decay happening on the body can make a regular 4-hour autopsy last longer. To describe how forensic pathology works, I need to show you in a series of images. You're walking along enjoying your day when you see a dead body in the bushes in front of you. You call the police and wait until they arrive. Once they are there, they notice that the person definitely died from a gunshot wound, but they send it to the forensic pathologist anyway so they can have a coroner's report. The forensic pathologists start the autopsy and get the bullet out of the person's skull. After that, they can identify the bullet and what gun it came from. All this information is then sent back to the police, which can then lead to a conviction of a murderer.
FBI! FBI!
More, we need an ambulance.
Get an ambulance.
Elling's been overdosed with heroin.
Don't hurt me.
You have the right to remain silent. Use it.
In recent times, where forensic pathology was used to successfully convict a killer is in the case of Stephanie Scott. Stephanie was supposed to get married, but only a few days before her wedding, she went missing.
It's something Aaron, Leeson, Woolley just can't comprehend. 3 days out from his wedding, and his fiancée, Stephanie Scott, is nowhere to be seen.
I'm not seeing her before I go to sleep, or like talking to her, or just seeing her in general. It's baffling me, like, where could she be?
It was only days later when they found her body burnt to a crisp 70 kilometres out of her hometown, Leeton.
All right, just here this morning to confirm the news reports overnight that police located the remains of who we believe is Stephanie Scott at Kokopara National Park yesterday afternoon. A crime scene was established from about 5 o'clock. That scene has been processed overnight and further examinations will occur throughout today. So in real terms, the investigation obviously is ongoing, but in terms of our searching and things like that, we certainly believe that the remains are those of Stephanie.
Forensic pathology revealed that Stephanie had been raped before being stabbed in the neck with a knife.
Good morning. Heartbreak for the family and friends of a young bride-to-be, with a 24-year-old man expected to be charged with her murder in southwest New South Wales. A short time ago, police had another breakthrough in the case with the discovery of Stephanie Scott's car. Let's get the latest now from Nine's Dimity Clancy, who joins us on the phone from the Channel 9 chopper. Dimity, what can you see and where are you?
Well, Brett, good morning. We are about 8.5 k's west of Leeton. 8.5 k's on the Griffith Road, and what you can see in those pictures now is a car exactly the same as that of what Stephanie Scott owned. It looks relatively intact. That's the red Mazda. Police believe they've been appealing to the public to see if anybody has found that. As I said, we're over a wheat field at the moment. It appears that the car has turned right off the Griffith Road, left into the side of a canal. It's actually parked right next to the side of a canal. As I said, 8.5 kilometres out of Leeton. A couple of cop cars are now guarding that car. This will be crucial to this investigation. This morning it just seems to be breakthrough after breakthrough for the case of Stephanie Scott, who was missing. As we know, this morning, 24-year-old Vincent Stanford is still in police custody. He is still being questioned. We haven't heard of any charges as yet. Police will be addressing the media shortly, Brett. He has been arrested. Some harrowing details this morning from police. They have allegedly found a number of graphic photos on his phone of a burnt body, and they have also allegedly found some blood in his car, which is an older style white Toyota Ute with a black canopy on the back. So as those investigations continue at Leeton Police Station, detectives anticipate they will be charging Vincent Stanford with murder later today. But as that happens, there are forensic police all around this region. As I said, some are now guarding this car that has been discovered just outside of town. There is also a crime scene at the home of Vincent Stanford, which is in town. They're collecting a number of forensic, as much evidence as they can, trying to piece together what happened to Stephanie Scott. As we know, Brett, she was due to get married to the love of her life, Aaron Woolley, in just a couple of days on Saturday. It's no doubt that this is absolutely harrowing and a heartbreaking development for her family. They did not give up hope, Brett, until the very, very end, and I don't even think they ever wanted to entertain that something like this had happened to the beautiful Stephanie. She was a much-loved and respected teacher in the town of Leeton, so they've asked for their privacy, Brett, which is what we'll give them today. They, as I said, they were very hopeful. They were very public yesterday in doing everything because they were adamant. They were very adamant from the beginning that Stephanie would not have just got cold feet about her wedding. She absolutely loved Aaron, and that is just going to make it so much more heartbreaking. But we'll bring you more developments as they happen today, Brett.
Dimity, thank you. Dimity Clancy there in the Channel 9 chopper above the scene of what appears to be Stephanie Scott's car, found southwest of Leeton just a few moments.
And the horrific new details did not stop there. After Vincent Stanford spotted Ms Scott here at the school, he went home and retrieved what police called a rape kit. He was waiting for her at the gate, and when she wished him a happy Easter, he dragged her into a storeroom, assaulted her and stabbed her in the neck. He dumped her body in the Coco Para National Park and set her alight. Her family side by side as they heard how police found photos of that body on Vincent Stanford's camera, which he claimed were downloaded from a horror movie, and her red bra in his bedroom.
The forensic evidence used and found in this case finally helped Stephanie's family get justice.
For the aggravated sexual assault, you are sentenced to imprisonment for 15 years. I decline to nominate a proportion of that sentence as a non-parole period, as there is no utility in doing so. For the murder of Stephanie Scott, you are sentenced to imprisonment for life.
Another recent case of murder and rape is of Irish woman Jill Marr. Jill had been an official Australian since 2009. She resided in Melbourne, and in September 2012, in the early hours of the morning, she disappeared. 6 days after her disappearance, police found her body in a shallow grave. Forensic pathologists revealed that she had been raped and then strangled to death. After identifying the sperm cells in Jill's sex organs, police arrested Adrian Ernest Bailey. In June 2013, Adrian Ernest Bailey was sentenced to life imprisonment with a non-parole period of 35 years.